Welcome to EduCasts, home of EduCasters. The technology of teaching. Behaviorism in action. Skinner didn't just study rats. He wanted to fix schools. He looked at the traditional classroom and thought it was inefficient. You have one teacher and 30 kids. How can the teacher reinforce every student instantly? If a kid does a math problem, they might not get their grade back for 2 days. That's too slow. The feedback loop is broken. Skinner invented the teaching machine, a precursor to computers. It was a box that showed a question. The student wrote the answer and pulled a lever. If they were right, it moved to the next question. If they were wrong, they had to try again. This introduced key behaviorist concepts that we still use today. Number 1, immediate feedback. Behaviorists believe feedback needs to be instant. If you correct a puppy 3 hours after it pees on the rug, the puppy learns nothing. If you correct a student's math error a week later, the bad habit is already set. This is why teachers love online quizzes and apps. The feedback is immediate. Number 2, scaffolding and shaping. Shaping is the process of teaching a complex behavior by rewarding small steps. You don't teach a pigeon to bull a strike all at once. First, you reward it for looking at the ball, then for touching the ball, then for pushing it. In school, we call this direct instruction. We break complex skills, writing an essay, into tiny, bite-sized chunks. Write a sentence, then a thesis, then an outline. We master step 1 before moving to step 2. Number 3, mastering objectives. Behaviorism focuses on clear, measurable goals. A behaviorist lesson plan never says, students will explore the beauty of poetry. That's unmeasurable. It says, students will be able to identify 3 metaphors in a poem with 80% accuracy. If you can't measure it, you didn't teach it. The behaviorist classroom, order, and efficiency. So what does a heavily behaviorist classroom look like today? It looks like a well-oiled machine. When you walk in, the expectations are clear. There is a routine for everything. The entry routine. Students know exactly where to put their bags, where to sit, and what bell work to start immediately. The signals. The teacher raises a hand or rings a chime. The class falls silent within 5 seconds. This is a conditioned response. The incentives. There is likely a system for tracking behavior. Maybe it's Class Dojo on the smartboard, where kids get dings and points for being on task. Maybe it's a marble jar. When the jar is full, they get a pizza party. The teaching style is usually I do, we do, you do. 1. I do. The teacher models the behavior perfectly. Watch me solve this equation. 2. We do. The class tries it together with the teacher helping. Let's do one together on whiteboards. 3. You do. The students do it alone to prove mastery. Complete problems 1 to 10. It is efficient. It is calm. It is data-driven. For a new teacher trying to control a chaotic room of 30 energetic middle schoolers, behaviorism is a lifesaver. It provides the structure that makes learning possible. Problem. Why everyone loves to hate behaviorism. If behaviorism is so effective, why is it the villain in so many educational debates? Why do humanists and constructivists hate it? Number 1, the rat in a maze critique. The biggest criticism is that it is dehumanizing. Critics argue that children are not pets to be trained. When we use candy, stickers, and recess as bribes, we are treating kids like rats in a Skinner box. We are manipulating them, not educating them. Number 2, the death of intrinsic motivation. This is the most serious argument. Intrinsic motivation, doing something because you love it, reading because the story is exciting. Extrinsic motivation, doing something for a reward, reading to get a Pizza Hut coupon. Behaviorism runs entirely on extrinsic motivation. Critics argue that this destroys the love of learning. If you pay a kid to read books, they will read the books. But the second you stop paying them, they stop reading. They weren't reading for the story, they were reading for the pellet. We are training a generation of kids who ask, "Is this for a grade?" before they lift a finger. Number 3, it ignores the why. Behaviorism fixes the behavior, but it ignores the root cause. Imagine a student acts out in class. A behaviorist system punishes the outburst, detention. The behavior might stop, but why did they act out? Maybe their parents are divorcing. Maybe they can't read the board and are embarrassed. Behaviorism doesn't ask those questions, it just suppresses the symptom. It demands compliance, not understanding. Number 4, it kills creativity. Behaviorism relies on convergent thinking, getting to the one right answer. It is great for multiplication tables. It is terrible for writing poetry, solving complex social problems, or inventing new things. You can't condition a student to be creative, because creativity requires breaking the rules, not following them. The modern legacy, ABA and special education. Despite the criticism, behaviorism has found a permanent and powerful home in special education. For students with severe autism or behavioral disorders, abstract talk therapy or humanistic approaches often don't work. These students need clear, concrete structure. This is the basis of ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis. ABA therapists break down life skills, brushing teeth, making eye contact, asking for water, into microscopic steps and use intense reinforcement, rewards, to build those skills. While ABA is controversial, some autistic advocates feel it tries to train away their personality. For many parents, it is the only thing that has helped their nonverbal child communicate. It is behaviorism in its purest, most clinical form, used to give children the basic tools of independence. So where does that leave us? Is behaviorism the dark side of education, or is it the foundation of it? The authentic answer, the one you'll find in that teacher's staff room, is that behaviorism is a tool. It is not a religion. Most teachers don't view their students as soulless robots, but they also know that you can't have a deep, humanistic discussion about literature if the class is running around screaming and throwing paper airplanes. Behaviorism provides the floor. It provides the safety, the structure, and the routine. It helps us memorize the boring stuff, like math facts, so that our brains are free to do the fun stuff, like complex problem solving. An excellent educator knows when to be a behaviorist and when to be a humanist. When it's a fire drill, be a behaviorist. I don't want you to construct your own meaning of the fire alarm. I want you to line up silently and walk out the door. Stimulus, response. But when we are discussing a novel or solving a conflict between friends, then put the behaviorism away. Stop the rewards. Talk to the human. Behaviorism asks the question, what are you doing? Humanism asks the question, who are you? Constructivism asks the question, how do you know? A great school needs all three questions. But make no mistake, without the structure that behaviorism provides, the schoolhouse would likely crumble into chaos. It is the unglamorous, sturdy concrete foundation upon which the art of teaching is built.